y'all? It's your girl Kiara, and I am back with another video. And yes, I will be doing another movie review. I don't remember the last one I did, but we're gonna do another one. And this movie is Lee Cronin's. I had to remember that because it was all over the internet. Lee Cronin's The Mummy. It is not to be confused with The Mummy with Brendan Fraser in it, long time ago, which is one of my favorite movies. That one is more like funny with a little bit of horror sprinkled into it throughout the movie, but it's mostly funny. The Lee Cronin version is different. It is more horror than anything else, but it's more a mixture of like gore and like supernatural kind of mixed in together. But it I would say it's a good time, me being a horror lover, so I had a good time for the most part. There were parts where I had to literally turn away from the screen, like I closed my eyes, I had to look away, do something during those scenes. But for the most part, it was really good. um but I'm not finna get into it yet because spoilers, duh. So before I get into it, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, all that, cause I know y'all wanna support your girl. And without further ado, let's get into this movie review. The movie starts I think 8-ish years from the time of the main movie, where we have parents. Their names are leaving me, but mom, dad. I'm gonna call them mom, dad for the sake of the movie because I will forget names so quickly. So mom, dad. Mom's getting ready to go to work. She works as a nurse. Dad is a news reporter. So they're currently in Egypt at the moment. So dad's doing his job. Mom works at a nurse as a nurse at a hospital, and they have 2 children and a baby on the way. So mom goes out to work and dad is home with the kids. So kids get bored. Baby girl, she has like a little doll. I forgot the doll's name. Her brother ties a parachute to her doll and tries to throw it over the top of the house, thinking it's going to work, and ends up breaking the doll's neck, so to speak. Dad fixes her up as good as he can, and then they're back to regularly scheduled program. Shortly after that, baby girl goes out into the garden where I guess it's like that's her regular hangout spot, so to speak, and she is waiting for her friend. And while she's waiting for her friend's mother actually shows up instead, saying that her daughter's sick, she can't come, and that she just sorry that her daughter couldn't come. But the mother gives the baby girl a nectarine to eat. I thought it was an apple at first, but then they later on in the movie y'all gonna see. Baby girl bites the apple, and as the nectarine, and as the girl is chewing on the nectarine, the mom is like chanting something over and over and over again. And as the woman is chanting, the child falls down and she starts convulsing really bad. And then dad decides to go, I guess, go looking for his daughter, and he sees that he goes out to the garden and he sees her doll and a bitten apple, and he sees like a hole in the gate because the woman climbed through the gate to grab his daughter. So dad's chasing this woman all throughout downtown Egypt. I think it was Cairo. All down Cairo, Egypt, looking for his daughter. Every time he gets close to this woman, something happens. A cart flies in front of him. A biker rolls in front of him. Something happens to where he can never catch this woman. And so out of nowhere, a huge sandstorm comes through, and he's lost in it. So he ends up stop looking for his daughter at the time. Like I said, fast forward 8 years. They have had the baby who was in mama's belly. Remember that baby? She is now 8 years old, and they are trying to move on with their life. It's not, it's no, nothing's going to be the same, but they're trying to move on with their life. And um, out of nowhere, they get, oh, my bad, let me back up, let me back up. After baby girl goes missing, the parents go to the police to file a missing child's report and to see if they have any insight on what may have happened. The lead detective is speaking another language, and he's basically telling the detective that can it is multilingual or whatever you want to call it, that he believed that the dad did something to the girl, and dad was getting upset talking about some, you think I did something to my girl? I didn't do nothing to my daughter. Find my daughter, this and that. Now we back to the future. Back to the future. Mom, dad, and the kids are in the car going somewhere. I can't remember. And they get a call from the detective saying that their daughter has been found in a 2,000-year-old tomb. So previously, before they get the phone call, there's a shot of an airplane flying overhead, and it just out of nowhere just crashes and burns. And the only thing that was undamaged was this tomb, and it landed like straight up and down. So they end up taking it to the lab or the morgue or wherever they went, and they opened it, and she was wrapped in this skin like stuff. And the more they started taking off of her, like the more she kind of more or less woke up. And like, yeah, once they get to all the paper off of her, she wakes up and she's screaming and she's hollering and she's all these things. Fast forward, the parents are allowed to visit their daughter in the hospital. Doctors say her labs is good. I don't believe it, but who am I? I'm no doctor. But he says her labs are good. She's just in this they said she's locked in, so to speak, to where it's going to take a little bit to come to. Mind you, this girl has been mummified for 8 years. And it looks like it. You see what I'm saying? So mom and dad goes to the bedside, tries to talk to her, tries to hold her hand. Her hands are like all gnarled because she's been in this position for a long time. Fast forward, she's well enough to go home. And she gets introduced to her baby sister and her brother again. They drag her up the steps because she's in a wheelchair. They like pulling her up step by step. And it's just a very awkward scene. Don't know why they put that in the movie. But nevertheless, I think it was to emphasize the stairs, because the stairs will come back at the end. But not, it's not a main part of the movie, basically. So they take her back to her room that still looks like what it looked like when she went missing 8 years ago. It's all pink. It has all the frills, all the things. Mom decides to stay the night, well, sleep in the bed with her daughter, and the whole movie is so awkward until like the third act, and it's grandmother. They end up moving with their grandmother, the mom's mom, who she's Cuban. She's Hispanic. She's Hispanic. That's all I know. And grandmother says a prayer over the daughter, and she has her rosary beads, and she's praying and all these things. And out of nowhere, in the middle of the prayer, the daughter just headsbutt the grandma on the nose, like just out of nowhere. And so they take grandma out the room. They try to calm the daughter down. The daughter goes crazy after she headsbutt grandma, and they have to stick her in the thigh with a sedative or something. Fast forward, they don't know what to do with the girl for the most part. The main scene that I remember that just, it was so okay. So they were trying to like pamper her, like try to give her some self care, I guess. They were trying to clip her nails, brush her hair, give her a bath, all these things. And mom decides to tackle those piggies, and she starts with the big toe, and she uses these like plier like clippers. She clips that toe and it lifts. It lifts off her toe. And it takes like skin from the side of her toe and it just rips all the way up her calf. And I don't remember seeing that part, but I know that happened because once you see like part of her leg was going, dad comes home, finds the daughter in the washroom picking at the open flesh that was. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Grandma's still trying to pray over this baby, which I understand, but we come to find out, I didn't figure this out when they saw her at the hospital. She is possessed by something. And whatever is inside of her is sick of grandma praying over this baby. So, baby girl ends up biting grandma's hand in the middle of a prayer, knocks grandma down, knocked her dentures out, hung her by her rosary beads, and flings her out the second story window. Yeah. And then she falls on the roof of the parents' car as they were coming home from school. Cause now, baby girl, the youngest, is now under a trance of this this entity, to where she's just being defiant in school. She's cussing the teacher out, calling her a "see you next Tuesday," and I'm like, whoa, hold on. But I don't think the girl is fully under the control because I feel like she's still there for the most part, but she's acting up. So mom and dad get into an argument. Basically, the mom is like, we don't need to take, because dad wants the oldest to go somewhere to get some professional help because they can't help her in this house. Mom thinks just because she's a nurse that she can help her. She can't help this. This is something you can't help. This is not a physical thing. This is not physical at all. And dad is just like, I don't think you can do this. And mom gets offended because she's like, so you telling me I can't take care of my daughter? And they get to going back and forth and they say some hurtful things and then they part ways. So after grandma falls out the second story window, they tried to get out the car and help her, but these coyotes were not. It was kind of on some Cujo stuff to where the dogs like will not let you out of the car because they want to get grandma right now. They want to get her, and like they started eating at her guts and stuff. It was nasty. It was so nasty. But after that, they have grandma's funeral at the house with the possessed daughter upstairs and the half possessed daughter downstairs wreaking havoc amongst the company. So the younger daughter, so early in the movie, the younger daughter was talking about how she has a loose tooth and she wants to get it. She wants to get it pulled out, and dad was joking like I can get the pliers or something like that. So the younger daughter starts wiggling at her loose tooth and she pulls it out, and then she starts pulling more and more and more and more and more. And me being the person I am, I'm in the movies. I'm like, I hope those are all her baby teeth, because oh my God, that's gonna be terrible if those are her big girl teeth already. So she pulls out all her teeth and she coughs. And mind you, they're at a repast, so they got food on the table. She done coughed on the devil eggs. She coughed the blood on the devil eggs, and I was just so upset. And then she ends up reaching into the casket and grabbing Nana's dentures and sticking the dentures in her mouth and like go up to her parents and smile this big denture smile at her parents. So I'm at the point where don't know. I'm in the mood with that. Like, ain't nobody at this repast thinking none of this is out of place, out of order. And then the possessed daughter sneaks her way downstairs and she's crawled on the roof ceiling, whatever you want to call it. And she done found her way into Nana's casket and is biting on Nana's neck. And the casket falls over and embalming fluid just leaks out of Nana's neck. and the possessed daughter starts licking it up off the floor. Cool, right? Not cool, but you know what I'm saying. Um, what else? They panic. Of course, everybody, all the guests at the funeral, they panic. But it just cuts to the night. Like there was nothing happened. It just next scene basically. Um, oh Jesus. The detective who was in charge of the case when the girl originally went missing got contacted again from the, oh, who was it? I can't remember who it was, but she basically got put on the case because she was there when it originally happened. She started doing her due diligence. Dad ends up finding a name. The detective finds that name eventually after a lot of looking. Finds the woman, the mother, remember the one who did the chant and the spell and all that. Found her at her house. Um, the mother basically was like, "You're gonna have to kill me," and that's, I mean, finds her. The detective asks the mother, "Why did you do that to that girl?" And the mother charges at the detective with a knife, and she gets shot. She gets shot right here, and we think she's dead because she's in a pool of blood. And as the mother gets shot, her daughter comes up, and the detective chases the daughter. The daughter brings the detective to this place that this box was buried in. Gave her the box. Gave the tape was in there. It was a tape with Katie. That was her name. Possessed girl. Katie. That's her name. I remember now. And the detective watches the video, sees the whole thing, like how this girl got possessed and why she's been missing for 8 years. Long story short, in order to keep this, I guess this demon entity, whatever, from running havoc over Egypt, it has to go into a body and it has to be locked in this tomb for however long it has to. And once the body is no longer fit for the demon, it has to be transferred into another body. And the mom says in her language that younger bodies last longer. So that's why they took the little girl, because she's innocent and her body will last longer. The detective ends up contacting mom and dad saying, "Hey, I got something you need to see." They were hesitant at first, but they sat down, they watched it. It was disturbing to say the least. They have this baby hung up on this cross, and they lower her over the mummy, and the mummy like throws up backwards. Like the girl's on top of the man, and he throws up into her mouth. And now she is getting wrapped in this same stuff, and that's how she got possessed. So now they know how it is transferred. They go upstairs, and I done skipped a lot because, Lord, go upstairs. The girl is pulling her skin off, right? The girl is pulling her skin off, and it's, yeah, very disturbing. Dad runs in and tackles his daughter Katie, and he holds her on the ground because they now know how to get this demon up out of her. But somebody has to sacrifice theirself. So dad decides to be the sacrifice. So he ends up holding her down while the detective does this ritual. She says these things, and the daughter ends up throwing up into dad's mouth, and dad is now knocked out, and they have to do the whole thing with dad. What else? What else? What else? That's basically the end of the movie, so to speak. It A lot happened in like 30 minutes. I ain't even gonna lie to you. 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes, more happened than the first like hour and a half. So it was a real slow burn, and that last 30 minutes kind of like drove it home. So they cut. We end up finding out that the woman who kidnapped Katie did not die. The bullet, I assume, went straight through her. She is now in jail. There is a sound of her cell door opening, but they can't see who it is. And we find out it's mom, the nurse, and she ends up sedating the witch enchantress, and it paralyzes her, and they end up bringing in dad, who remember got mummified and all that stuff, to get the demon up out of Katie. They come in and they close that door, and it is understood that they have transferred the demon into her, because you hear all the whimpering and all these things. um Katie's good, the boy's good, the little girl back to normal. And I don't know the fate of the mom and the dad, but all we know is that ending was something else, is the best I can say. I'm It ain't the best. If I gave it a rating out of 10, I'm gonna give it like a 7. Only because I'm counting the gore, and I'm counting the jump scares, and I'm counting the paranormal aspect of the whole thing. So, overall 7. If it's something that you want to watch because you like getting you like grossed out and stuff, it's a good movie. But other than that, no. And I don't know if he was trying to copy The Mummy with Brendan. It was never gonna happen. It was more so closer to Evil Dead. Evil Dead, I can say that's the closest to this movie that I would compare it to. Yeah, that's all I got. If y'all liked it, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you want to do down in my comment section, but don't get too crazy. Watch yourself. And that is all. If y'all like this video, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, all that. Cause I know y'all wanna support your girl. And like I always say, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.